To us reptile people, our reptile idols seem famous. But what about the really famous people you watch in the movies? Do any of those keep reptiles too? They do. And today, I'm going to tell you about 5 A-list celebrities that keep pet snakes and lizards. I did this video last year, so this is part 2. I want to talk about 5 more. You can watch the first one right here. And the complaint that I got, well, a few of them are, well, what about this person? Or what about that person? And I'm only including people who actually keep reptiles as pets. Not Betty White, who posed with one, or Britney Spears, who posed with one. People who actually keep these animals. So let's start it off with number 5, Hayden Panettiere. I think I'm saying that right. Either way, I didn't realize she was in Remember the Titans. Like, she's been around for a long time. Regardless, what she's also done for a long time is kept pet snakes. Now, you might remember, I think it was 2012, over 10 years ago, she pranked Michael Strahan on the Live with Megyn and Kelly show. I don't know, I've never watched that show, but it's a thing. And she threw a fake snake at Michael Strahan and ha ha ha, and then she posed with a bunch of Burmese pythons, or I think they're big snakes, if my memory serves me correctly. But this is pretty common, right? A lot of celebrities will pose with exotic animals, and the ones that are the most misunderstood or rare of people seeing, those are the ones that get the most clicks and views. That's why, say, guys like Jay Brewer get so many clicks, because they get big A-list celebrities like, you know, the Paul brothers to show up, show off the snakes, and all of a sudden now he's in front of those millions of people, and he got them like that with a snake. The same premise as Tiger King. All of those guys got really famous and could bring people and get, you know, lots of notoriety because of a tiger. Same thing with snakes. So you see A-list celebrities do this all the time, and that's what separates people like Hayden, because she actually keeps 2 corn snakes. And that's really cool because this is a good ambassador. This isn't somebody who has a bunch of animals and doesn't know what to do with them, and they're, you know, these crazy animals. Like, if she had a Burmese python, I mean, maybe she knows how to take care of it, maybe, but maybe also that's for show. And by the way, this could be anybody, Nick Cage, anybody. We talked about Nick Cage in the last one, right? But my point is, the fact that she has 2 corn snakes to me means, well, she probably has them because she likes them. Nobody's gonna be really impressed by having a corn snake, right? So she has these 2 corn snakes. It's reported anyway, and she's talked about it before. She posted about it on Twitter in 2012, I think. But it's reported she still has them. Now, these are a great snake for somebody who travels a lot, which obviously she does. She's really busy, clearly. You don't have film set and you're gone basically for months and months. So this is an animal that could easily be cared for if she hired someone to do it, which I imagine she does. Anyway, the point is she could have one of these and not really take up much room wherever she lives. And I think that the fact that she has someone to take care of it, I mean, it's one of those things where she can enjoy it and doesn't have to be intensively caring for it like it was something like, I don't know, chameleon, where you'd really have to know someone who's into reptiles to take care of it. Because a chameleon, you can't just get Joe Blow off the street and say, all right, this is the mouse, it's in the freezer, put the mouse in warm water for this amount of time, dangle the mouse, make sure the water, like, you know what I mean? It's really easy to give care instructions for a corn snake. Anyway, that's number 5. Number 4, you probably didn't expect, and that is Leonardo DiCaprio. So clearly one of the most famous people on earth, and not someone you'd expect to have an animal that can last a long time. I mean, there's that whole running joke that Leo has these commitment issues because he's got a new girlfriend half his age all the time, which, you know, neither here nor there, no big deal. But for him to get a sulcate tortoise, which he did, seems just kind of crazy. Now, he's an environmental activist, so that's the other thing that you want to consider. And I don't want to be the conspiracy guy, but what are the chances that these people go and do these publicity stunts and they're just publicity stunts, and either they never actually took the animal home or they took it and then just gave it to somebody? He has an African spur-thighed tortoise, a sulcate tortoise. He got it at an NARBC show in 2010 while he was filming Inception, and he brought it, like, I mean, that's a 38-pound tortoise. Is kind of like a big deal considering this animal was about 10 years old and it's gonna live another, well, longer than he is alive. Does he have kids that he can give the tortoise? I don't even know. I don't know anything about famous people. But it's kind of cool that he made a big deal about going to an NARBC show. That's pretty cool. One of the most famous people on earth. So does he have room to take care of it and stuff? Probably. Is he home to take care of it a lot? Probably not. But also, it's another one of those things where if he had something outside set up for it, or if it's his tortoise and he keeps it at a facility, I don't really have an issue with that. I mean, good on him, and it brought awareness to a really cool species that all of us should be, because if it was 10 years old, it wasn't like a breeding thing, right? And for sulcate tortoises, in most parts of, the US for sure, but even other parts of the world, we should probably bring in unwanted ones and stop breeding normal ones because there's just so freaking many of them. Number 3, Jayden and Willow Smith. So I'm gonna put these two together because from the reading that I did, it seems like they got them when they were kids and living in the same house. So basically, Will and Jada bought the animals for their kids to have, and then they grew up and then they still like snakes, which is what they have, by the way. And from what I read, it seems like Jayden and Willow have about 10 snakes or have had more than 10 snakes. And the way they came about getting them is Jada was afraid of snakes, but Willow kept going into a reptile store and would hold the snake and wrap it around her wrist like a bracelet. Sounded like, a curious kid, nothing wrong with that. And under parental supervision, Jada was afraid of the snake and it helped her get over her fear of the snake. They brought it home and then now they had a whole bunch of snakes. The weird part, and don't get me wrong, really famous people a lot of the times are really weird. And Jayden was talking about how he calls his snakes his girlfriends, which is super freaking weird. Please don't slap me for saying that. I don't know, maybe an inheritable trait. Either way. And then he was talking about how he likes to have them in the bed to sleep at night. So he literally cuddles with the snakes. And then when he's not sleeping in bed with them, his girlfriends, the snakes, it's so weird, he lets them free roam around the room. Which, okay, if you're giving them enrichment time, but the way that it was written in a few articles was he just had a bunch of snakes in his room, which is not great for so many reasons. First of all, if you have a bunch of snakes in your room, your snake probably doesn't have the temperature gradient it needs. It definitely doesn't have a spot warm enough. It's gonna poop everywhere. If you don't know where it is, let's suppose, I don't know what it is, but let's suppose that it's a reticulated python or something like that. I know he had a boa constrictor, for example. Then, they're ambush predators, so they see heat signature and then, not boas, but you know what I'm trying to say. So, whatever. I hope that they're all in good, spirits and good hands and good quality of life and all that. I don't know anything really about it. It's hard to really find these things because most of the articles are did you know this person had a snake? And not much else. But there is one very famous case that everybody really knows about, and that is Jake the Snake Roberts. And if you have a TikTok account, you might be looking at me like, bro, you must be so old. I have no idea who that is. Back in those days, right? I actually got to meet Jake the Snake Roberts one time. He was not a really nice guy, stealing a child's lunchbox because he signed it without the kid asking for it to be signed and then wouldn't give it back unless the kid's dad gave him $50 for the signature. Anyway, out of a bag and then tossing it to somebody is not good. Burmese pythons are big and sturdy and whatever, but still, they have fragile spines, and throwing an animal is just not a good idea in the first place. Can't lie on there. So anyway, there was one really famous thing that I can't even believe is real. Again, I'm not a WWE fan, so I just found out about this. There is another wrestler named The Earthquake or something like that. Anyway, this big giant guy, right? Even bigger than Jake the Snake, who's 6'8" or something like that. Puts it under the ring, then Earthquake goes and gets it, puts it in the ring, and apparently what they did is a bait and switch. So it's made to think that the snake is still in the bag, but really it was just ground beef and a mechanism to make it move. But either way, let's suppose that that is true and there wasn't a snake in the bag, jumps on the thing and kills it. So even though it's not real, like most of wrestling, I guess, it's still really messed up. Imagine if they put a puppy into a bag and then they did a bait and switch and then pretended to kill a puppy. That would never happen. And obviously this, I think, was the 90s. Matt will put the year right here. Realistically, is it different though? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below if it's different. And let's not forget the part where he was, yeah, it's just animal abuse, all of it. Okay, and then we'll go to the most famous guy on the list for sure, Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was known for having lots of really crazy pets. He had a giraffe, I think he had an elephant, he for sure had chimpanzees, he had llamas dating back to when he was a kid, but what you might not know is that he had snakes too. In fact, he had some really, really famous ones. Before my time, I assume in the 70s or 80s, based on this picture, he had Muscles the boa constrictor. So this is pre most of the surgery. So he looked different. I'm gonna guess 1987, that's my guess, okay? Somewhere around that. Michael Jackson had this really cool boa constrictor, and from what I understand, it was taken care of really well. He took care of it, and then he had a zookeeper to take care of it as well, which is cool. Whatever your opinion is on Michael Jackson, we're talking about the welfare of the animals, And although some of the animals notoriously had bad living conditions, it seemed like this snake in particular had pretty good living conditions. And then later on, he had this Burmese python named Madonna, and I believe that he was at Neverland Ranch when he died in 2009, and then it was taken, obviously, because, you know, yeah, someone has to take it, and renamed Sunshine, I believe. So he had a bunch of snakes and really big ones, and anyway, Michael Jackson had snakes. The whole point of the video is celebrities that you didn't know had snakes. Let me know in the comment section below who had snakes that I didn't put on the list, and what snake would you have if you could have any snake in the world without any parameters. Also, please hit like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. Helps the channel and the Patreon supporters. You guys get videos early, discounts on merch, you guys get one-on-ones. We just do like a little FaceTime thing and talk about whatever you want to talk about, show you reptiles. All that for as little as $1 a month. And that's it. I do videos twice a week, so I'll see you in the next one.